Okay, I'm going to review the first two seasons of Highlander the series, which stars Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod. I was originally going to review these seasons, season by season, but I'm going to do the first two together because I have this funny little qualm with me that I don't like anything left on cliffhangers, and I have to keep it all compiled in the same video. I don't know, I'm just funny like that. I did watch Brown Coat Eric Blows Himself Up Dude's reviews on these a while back, and I watched them one more time just to try and make sure I didn't miss anything, but also just to kind of make sure I don't retread across anything he said or say the exact same way. I'm trying to keep this my own thing as much as possible, but I'm going to try. The first season. Now, this is a pretty good one. I rewatched this last year. It took me a little bit to get back into, primarily because the first season is kind of blah with me. It's not a bad introduction to a series. I mean, it does kind of have some flawed moments, but I consider this the dress rehearsal for the rest of the series, because any kind of flaws that they have in here, they can go ahead and kind of iron out, and in some ways I consider that along with the second season. The first episode picks up with Christopher Lambert, who is Connor MacLeod from the original movie, showing up, which this presents probably the best continuity within the series, because I've always felt like there were three different continuities for Highlander. You had movie 1, and then the second movie, and then it stops there. You had movie 1, movie 3, that stops there, and then you had movie 1, the series, Highlander Endgame, and the Source. And I don't include the Raven in there anywhere, just because that's a bad spinoff all of a sudden. Connor MacLeod shows up, and you see some nice little dynamics, in between them. A lot of their history. Excuse me. Some really good episodes in here. The first one, of course, being the best one, because you also have Richard Mall, who shows up. I've seen him in quite a lot of shit. He's a really cool villain in here, or at least to me. It's fun. I also like Adrian Paul's character a lot more, because he's able to sword fight better than Connor MacLeod did in the original movie. And this is primarily because Adrian Paul is a guy who knows how to do martial arts, so he incorporates that into his character when they get into fights very well. And I applaud him on that. We get introduced in this season to Tessa, who is his common law. I would say they never do actually say that. They treat her more like his girlfriend, but, being together so long, I just say, fuck it, I'll call her common law. And then we have Richie Ryan, the little wayward street kid who is taken in and eventually revealed in the second season to be an immortal himself. There are some great episodes in here, especially when they transfer over to Paris and they introduce the character of Darius, the immortal priest who stays on holy ground and serves kind of as the spiritual guidance of Duncan MacLeod in some ways. There are some of the best episodes are there when they deal with the first time Xavier St. Cloud shows up, and you have the immortals Grayson, and then that one episode where Duncan's old girlfriend Grace shows up, and there's kind of a little tension in between her and Tessa, which is kind of funny. You get Amanda introduced into the series. She's kind of dulled on me. I liked her the first few times that I watched her around, but then after I rewatched the series last year, I kind of felt disappointed in her, honestly, just because of the way she was portrayed and all that. But this is still a really good season, and especially for the cliffhanger episode, The Hunters, which kind of transitions over into the second season. We get the Watchers in this we're introduced to Joe Dawson, and kind of starts up the friendship in between the Watcher and his immortal target, which is a great dynamic throughout the series. And they kind of have, there are moments like, you know, we can be friends, we can't be friends, that's played with throughout the series, but eventually they do stick to being friends, and their relationship is a really good one that I like. Tessa is killed in the second season, which in a way it was a good episode, which was called The Darkness, but I'm not really sorry to see that character grow, because we don't get to have Duncan his character fleshed out, because Tessa served as the thing that kept him grounded to the closest to a home life. And I actually felt that once she died, they were able to expand a whole lot better with having him do much more than just stay around and try and be close to her. The second season grates on my nerves primarily because they deal so much with the Watchers. Now, the episode, The Hunters going into the Watchers, was good because we get introduced to Horton, who kind of gets to be the main villain of the second season. And he presents himself as a much greater threat to Duncan because he's not an immortal. You can't sense him coming up behind you, so you never know exactly when he's going to strike. The two-parter that they have with Xavier St. Cloud, which was called Unholy Alliance, was a great episode. And then the finale of Season 2, where they kind of bring in this criminal woman and do plastic surgery on her to give her Tessa's face and kind of mind fuck with Duncan as some revenge, orchestrated by Horton, is also great. It's really good. You have also, I forgot to mention, in the first season you had Roger Daltrey of The Who as Fitzcairn, who is a good character. He shows up somewhat more in here. We also have Amanda with a couple of good episodes. But, you know, for the most part, the second season, next to Season 6, is my least favorite. I hate Season 6 entirely, except for like 3 episodes of it, but Season 2 is my least favorite, primarily because they deal with the Watchers. Just about everything in here is Watcher episode, Watcher episode, Watcher episode. You have to look out because the evil Watchers are going to cut your heads off. Fuck. They just got on my damn nerves. I was completely ecstatic when they had that episode, I can't remember what it's called, where Roddy Piper guest starred as Immortal on here, and they actually had an Immortal show up, because I swear it was like 12 to 15 fucking episodes that you just had nothing but dealing with the Watchers. And I was really glad to actually see an Immortal fight on here. And this almost, to me, would have been the damnation of the series, but it's really good. The first 2 seasons, when they measure up to it, are not really my favorite. I actually consider them to be my 3rd and 4th favorites out of the 6 seasons that the series was, but these are definitely good. Recommend you check them out if you haven't before.